What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Tima, white folks music. So my boy D.L. Hughley is one of the best comedians of all time. You know, he's from LA and he is King Roaster. You know, he used to be on BET Comic View back in the 90s. And my man be doing his thing. Now, I don't agree with a lot of his political things he talks about, and he's definitely a liberal. But look, I rock with DL. You know, he's been married to the same one for a long time. He's a big family man, and he's a very, very, very talented comedian and actor. But, you know, my man DL Hughley is getting into a lot of the social media game. And what you're seeing a lot of times now is the entertainers and the actors, they're paying attention to the people who are moving stuff organically on social media. You know, guys like Kevin Samuels, stop the show. One day me, when I stop being so dusty. Can I get a ooh sound effect? Oh! But D.L. Hughley is aware of Kevin Samuels, and I approve of this because he had a call-in show about him. Now, to be fair, I didn't hear the call-in show, but I do want to respond to some of the people on Facebook who left some comments. And his post says this: "Hey, music!" So-called relationship guru Kevin Samuels says women who are 35 and unmarried are leftover. Does he have a point or sound dumb as F? Now, stop the show. When he said so-called, we already know how D.L. Hughley felt, okay? And shout out to D.L. You know, he has his own points of view. I'm not gonna, talk about the brother. You know, I like D.L. Hughley to a certain degree. But we all know that, D.L. Hughley has a lot of women who support his platform. And I have proof of that because of some of these ladies who commented. And obviously, these were ladies who do not like Kevin Samuels at all. Let's stop with the first lady. We'll blur her name. Sad music. I've heard a few of his shows, and I'm not feeling him at all. He acts like he's the connoisseur on life. Plus, he's rude and insulting. I personally don't know why anyone calls in to him, just my opinion. Another lady goes, LOL, this man has been married and divorced twice. Not only is he leftover, he's sloppy seconds. The lady goes, he's in his 50s. He was married twice. He's single now. What does that make him? Another lady goes, love him. He's saying on average, this is the case, not every female. If you truly listen to everything he says, it makes a lot of sense, but the average person won't and will get offended. I like him, but he's not for everyone. Do you? And another lady says, sad music, dumb as F. A lot of women choose not to until they're ready. This other lady goes, I'm sure a lot of men feel this way, but he's ridiculous. And this lady right here, this is the best one. Dima, trap music sounds like a fool. I am 69 years old and I'm married and no children. It's cause I wanna be. Can I get a game over sound effect? This other goes here. Sad music. I don't need this 2 times married individual to define me. I know who I am, what I want, and what I can provide. So next. So, if you look at those 8 comments that I've visited, only 2 people really kept it on the point. The other 6 took some attacks at him personally when we're dealing with an idea. That's what we're dealing with. The idea is the question, not do you like him or not, but we're talking about the idea is, are women of 39, are they unmarried and left over? We're not talking about his personal life or what his personal opportunities are, because to be fair, if a guy has his stuff together, it doesn't matter if he was unsuccessful 5 years ago. It doesn't matter if he was unsuccessful 2 years ago, because if he's on right now, he's eligible to get anybody right now. A lot of people. That's how it works for men. It's the unfair advantage. Men who get it later on can still thrive. Women have it earlier on, and if they lose it, they're not the same as men. That is what we're dealing with. Are women who are 35 unmarried and left over? That's the question, but let me answer. It depends. It depends on certain variables. 1, the social class of the lady. 2, what does she look like? 3, what is she willing to accept? for how does she act. Okay. So again, social class, what does she look like? What is she willing to accept? How does she act? Now, if you're a woman and you're over 35, you're unmarried, if you have children, and if you're not exceptionally beautiful and you're in the working class, and if you're a woman who feels like you deserve a man who's in the upper middle class, who should be a certain type or a certain weight or certain things like that, and that does happen, it's unlikely. Okay. Now, if you're a woman who's just looking for a regular guy like yourself, he may have kids, and if you're willing to accept water at its own level, that's more favorable. But we all know that women tend to not want to do that. Most women tend to not, they're as they get older, they don't want to just drop their stock in guys, especially in the black community. Most women are like, well, I can do bad all by myself if I can't get what I want. Instead of saying, well, okay, let me compromise on what I want, because what I'm asking for, I'm not that. Because what I'm getting is what I really am. Some people want more than what they really are. That's the problem. So you're going to hear a lot of women, if you call into that show, talk about that, either they are okay with being single or they want it to be that way because they can do better by themselves. And their attitude about the situation is very poor. That's what the issue is. Women over 35 can still get somebody along what their level of education is typically, their level of looks typically, around their earnings. Where they fall in line is typically where, like for an example, if you're a person, you have a certain level of education, certain level of work history, certain level of things, it dictates where you can live. It dictates what kind of car you can drive. It dictates what you can do. It dictates what who your friends can be, who your friends can have, where you go to vacation at. It's no different with women. It puts you in the economy of the dating pool. Typically, men understand this. If you're a guy that's not a very handsome guy, you're not a guy who makes a lot of money, or not a guy who's like a very successful, we know what your dating pool is going to be. Most men understand that. Women don't want to do that. So they still want to be able to kind of, quote unquote, pray or hope things work out, hope things work in their favor. And then when those things don't, they're highly upset. And they're upset at the person who's going to tell you, hey, you are shooting above what you really can get. And then it becomes the personal attacks against the messenger instead of dealing with the message. And the message is going to stay the same. It's always been that way. It's never been that way. Kevin didn't make the rules on that. It's how life is. If you're over 35, you're on the, going towards the, middle age of your life, the opportunities typically for most women, not all, are not the same as they were when you were 25. He's just telling you something that we all know. It's how the world works. But if you say that, it's problematic. And it's not that every woman has this, issue. Some women don't. But many women do face that. And if they're a woman that expects to have more than where they are in their period of life, it's problematic. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Remember, sure for all that you do, subscribe to the bell, check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains an all-time high. I'm out.